Dubai is a city that dazzles the world with its towering skyscrapers, lavish malls, and record-breaking achievements. But behind the glittering skyline lies a side you won't see in glossy travel brochures. Stories of trapped workers, grueling labor, and hidden struggles. Beneath the luxury and glamour, there's a darker reality most people never hear about. So, what's the real cost of Dubai's perfection?
Dubai, the most luxurious place in the world. Just 50 years ago, Dubai was merely a small town in the middle of the desert. Today, Dubai serves as the luxurious face of the Middle East.
Dubai has built a reputation as the ultimate playground for the rich and famous. It's a city where luxury isn't just an option. It's the way of life. The Burj Khalifa stretches into the sky as the tallest building in the world, a symbol of ambition and wealth. Below it, Dubai Mall isn't just a place to shop. It's a destination with luxury brands, indoor waterfalls, and even an aquarium. Every corner of the city seems designed to impress, from the 7-star Burj Al Arab Hotel to the sprawling Palm Jumeirah, an artificial island shaped like a palm tree.
It is the richest city in the world, and it sits on 10% of the entire world's oil supply.
People flock to Dubai to experience the high life. Supercars roar down the streets. Gold-plated everything is the norm. And influencers fill social media with snapshots of the city's opulence. It's hard not to get swept up in the glamour. For many, Dubai represents a dream, where success and wealth are celebrated openly and extravagantly. But for all its shining attractions, there's something about Dubai's perfection that feels too good to be true. Beneath the surface, stories begin to emerge that don't match the glossy images on postcards. Not everyone living and working in Dubai experiences this luxury. The city's grandeur is real, but it's only one side of the story. Behind the polished exterior lies a hidden reality, a world of tireless labor, strict controls, and sacrifices that many endure to keep the glittering facade alive.
Government to take care of you and to have all these protections, like for example with banks. If you expect the banks to protect your money and have a certain threshold that they don't let you lose if there is a bank fault or any problems at the bank, if you expect the government to pay for your public transportation, for your doctor bills, then definitely don't go to Dubai.
For many workers, the promise of a better life in Dubai quickly turns into a harsh reality. People from around the world, drawn by the allure of high-paying jobs and a glamorous lifestyle, arrive with dreams of success. But instead of finding opportunity, many end up trapped in grueling conditions that feel more like a nightmare than a dream. Take the hospitality industry as an example. Workers sign contracts filled with hopeful promises, only to discover that the reality is far from what they imagined. One former hotel supervisor shared how he was asked to hand over his passport on the very first day of work. At the time, it seemed like just another formality, but as the weeks turned into months, he realized the truth. Without his passport, leaving wasn't an option. It was more than just an inconvenience. It was a system designed to control and confine. Long hours became the norm, with shifts stretching to 12 or even 16 hours. Days off were more of a myth than a reality. Even the accommodations offered by employers felt like a cruel joke. Crowded dormitories far from the city, surrounded by nothing but desert. For many, there was no chance to enjoy the luxury and vibrancy that Dubai is famous for. The bright lights of the city felt like they belonged to another world entirely.
The workers are coming from very poor countries, mostly Pakistan, Bangladesh and India. They're often villagers, often uneducated or illiterate, don't have access to the internet. So when a corrupt labour agent approaches them and offers them what seems like a fantastic salary, they don't know any better.
Behind Dubai's gleaming skyscrapers and record-breaking landmarks lies a harsh truth that few dare to confront. The city's iconic skyline owes its existence to the tireless efforts of construction workers, many of whom endure conditions that can only be described as modern-day slavery. These workers, often from countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nepal, arrive with high hopes, believing the promises of recruiters who paint a picture of fair pay and steady work. But the reality they face is far from what they were promised.
Close to slavery. It's certainly indentured servitude. They can't leave a company and work for another company. They can't leave the country because of the debt that they find themselves in. And when you look at the deception that's involved in getting them to the UAE in the first place, the lawyer and a researcher at Human Rights Watch says it certainly looks like a trafficking network.
Upon arriving in Dubai, many construction workers find their passports confiscated by their employers under the pretense of company policy. This single act strips them of their freedom and locks them into a cycle of dependency. They can't leave the job, nor can they return home. It's a system designed to trap them, ensuring their compliance at any cost. The work itself is grueling. Under the relentless heat of the desert sun, these laborers toil for hours, often without adequate breaks or safety precautions. Many work in hazardous conditions where injuries are common, and their lives are treated as expendable. In return, they are paid shockingly low wages, barely enough to cover basic needs, let alone send money back to their families as they'd hoped. Their living conditions are just as dire. Cramped dormitories, often situated on construction sites or in remote areas far from the city, offer little more than a bed in overcrowded rooms. Basic amenities like clean water and sanitation are often lacking, and the isolation from the vibrant city life only deepens the sense of despair.
They were going to work in restaurants, they were told they were going to work in stores, but obviously when they got to Dubai, it wasn't anything close to what they were promised.
Behind the polished image of Dubai's luxury and innovation lies a hidden crisis that affects some of the most vulnerable individuals: human trafficking and exploitation. While the city dazzles with its opulence, a disturbing reality unfolds in its shadow, where women are lured under false pretenses and stripped of their freedom. Many of these women come to Dubai after being promised legitimate jobs in fields like hospitality, retail, or personal care. The offers seem like golden opportunities: better pay, improved living conditions, and a chance to support their families back home. But once they arrive, the truth is far from what they expected. Passports are often taken as a means of control, leaving them stranded in a foreign land without any way to leave.
Sleep with men and collect money from them. They'll kill me and even take me to Sahara Desert.
If we try to run away, they will bring us back and they will kill us, they will take us to desert.
Instead of working in respectable jobs, they are forced into exploitative roles, such as illegal massage parlors or prostitution rings. The initial promises are replaced with threats, violence, and manipulation. Fear becomes a constant companion for these women, as their traffickers enforce compliance through intimidation and the looming danger of legal repercussions. They know speaking out or trying to escape could result in severe consequences, both from their captors and the legal system. These exploitative networks operate in the shadows, using the city's luxurious facade as a cover. Hidden behind neon signs advertising wellness and relaxation, many so-called massage parlors are fronts for illegal activities. The victims, trapped in these spaces, live in constant fear, their stories silenced by the very system that promised them a better life.
I come from a humble family. They all believe in me. They think I am now doing well in Dubai. But here am I, tamakin. Just so you know, tamakin is a term for moving around in search of a job.
Stranded, hungry, and desperate, Nora tried her hands in prostitution.
Some stories of survival and escape from Dubai's darker side show the sheer resilience of the human spirit. One ex-hospitality worker's experience offers a chilling yet inspiring insight into how individuals navigate and ultimately break free from these oppressive systems. This young man arrived in Dubai with big dreams. Fresh out of college and eager to build his career, he accepted a job in the hospitality industry. The position seemed promising, and he was drawn by the allure of Dubai's global reputation for excellence. But from the very first day, cracks appeared in the facade. He was asked to hand over his passport, with vague assurances it would be returned when needed. At just 23 and far from home, he hesitated but complied, not yet realizing how that one act would tether him to the system. The job itself was nothing short of grueling. Instead of the promised 8-hour shifts, he found himself working 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. The promised days off were often canceled for mandatory meetings or team activities. His accommodation, far removed from the glittering city, was a bleak dormitory in the desert, surrounded by nothing but sand. With no transportation other than the company van, his life became a monotonous cycle of work and isolation. What made things worse was the mental toll. The management kept him under constant pressure, guilt-tripping him into staying despite his deteriorating mental and physical health. He was told repeatedly that he had a responsibility as a supervisor, that others looked up to him, and that leaving would not only be a personal failure, but would also harm his colleagues. After nearly a year of enduring these conditions, he reached his breaking point. Using his scheduled vacation as a chance to reclaim his passport, he made his move. It wasn't easy. The company placed obstacles in his way, requiring co-workers to sign off as guarantors for his return. But once he had his passport in hand, he fled.
Described as being oil-rich, it isn't. Less than 5% of its GDP comes from oil. It's got a bit of gas, but it essentially has made its success through diversifying into property, real estate, aviation, trade, banking, finance.
Dubai is often seen as a city where dreams come true, with its iconic skyline, luxurious lifestyle, and world record-breaking achievements. It's a place that attracts millions of tourists and ambitious workers from all over the globe, all drawn by the promise of something extraordinary. But what lies beneath this glittering facade is a reality that couldn't be more different.
A glass of wine publicly on the street, or they'll embrace and kiss a member of the opposite sex. In 2018, there was a British PhD student who was doing a doctorate on security in the UAE. He was arrested and accused of spying.
The city's image of perfection is meticulously crafted. Every ad, every influencer post, and every glossy picture of Dubai highlights its wealth, grandeur, and innovation. From the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, to the Dubai Mall, a shopping mecca of unimaginable scale, the message is clear. Dubai is a city of dreams. It's a place where success seems to be around every corner, and luxury is a way of life. But this polished exterior often hides the untold stories of the people who make it all possible. Behind the glamour lies a workforce that fuels this grand illusion. Construction workers labor under harsh conditions to create the next architectural marvel. Hotel staff work long hours to deliver the impeccable service Dubai is known for. Many of these workers live in cramped accommodations, far removed from the city's glitz, sacrificing their well-being and personal lives to keep the machine running smoothly. Their efforts are the backbone of Dubai's success, yet they are rarely acknowledged, let alone celebrated. What's more, the system in place often ensures that these workers have little power to change their circumstances. With passports confiscated, wages that barely cover their needs, and a culture of fear and control, they find themselves trapped. The glittering towers and lavish hotels come at a human cost that's easy to overlook when all you see are the bright lights. Talking about Dubai's darker realities isn't about dragging the city's name through the mud. It's about sparking change. Behind the luxury, the record-breaking skyscrapers, and the dazzling tourist attractions are people who make it all possible. They deserve fair treatment, dignity, and basic human rights. Ignoring their plight isn't just unfair, it's unsustainable. To truly live up to its image as a global beacon of innovation and progress, Dubai needs to take a hard look at how it treats its workforce. Fair labor policies could transform lives. Imagine a system where workers are paid living wages, where their passports aren't taken away, and where they don't have to work endless hours just to make ends meet. These changes aren't impossible. They're a matter of priority. If Dubai can build the world's tallest building, it can certainly ensure that those who make its dreams a reality are treated with respect. Living conditions are another area crying out for reform. Workers shouldn't have to live in cramped, isolated accommodations far from the city they're helping to build. They deserve clean, safe housing, with access to basic amenities and the freedom to move around. It's not just a question of morality, it's a question of Dubai's global reputation. A city built on exploitation will eventually face scrutiny it cannot ignore. Human trafficking and exploitation must be eradicated entirely. This isn't a hidden issue that can be brushed under the rug. Stronger laws, better enforcement, and international cooperation are needed to end these practices. Protecting vulnerable individuals should be a priority, not an afterthought. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.